Hello, and welcome to English Eve Podcast, where English meets real life. I'm Sophia, and I have a question for you. Have you ever felt excited to start a new habit and then stopped after 3 days? Maybe it was waking up early, going to the gym, or reading every night. You tried hard. You wanted to change, but somehow it just didn't last. Today, we're going to explore why this happens and, more importantly, how to change habits in a way that really works. And the truth might surprise you, it's not about willpower. It's about understanding yourself. And sometimes that means starting smaller than you think. Joining me today is Daniel, a wellness coach from Brighton who helps people find the habit that fits their real life, not their fantasy life. Daniel, welcome.
Thank you, Sophia. I'm really happy to be here.
And yes, I've worked with so many people who think something is wrong with them just because they can't stick to a habit. But what if the habit was never right for their lifestyle in the first place?
That's such a powerful idea. Let me share a moment from my own life. Last year, I told myself I'd wake up at 5 a.m. every day to journal, exercise, and cook a healthy breakfast. It sounded perfect, but after just a week, I gave up. I felt weak, lazy, and disappointed in myself. Last year, I told myself I'd wake up at 5 a.m. every day to journal, exercise, and cook a healthy breakfast. It sounded perfect, but after just a week, I gave up. I felt weak, lazy, and disappointed in myself. But the truth was, my nights were already full. I worked late, I needed more sleep, and I didn't need a whole new morning routine. I just needed one small habit to begin with. That was my turning point.
Exactly. And that's the key. Many people try to change too much, too fast. They try to become a new person overnight. But the brain doesn't work that way. It needs small wins. There's a great quote I love from James Clear. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. So if you just drink a glass of water in the morning, that's a vote for health. It's small, but it matters.
I love that. So instead of thinking, I failed because I didn't run 5 kilometers, we can think, I succeeded because I put on my shoes and walked around the block.
That's right. It's the 2-minute rule. If your new habit feels too big, just do the first 2 minutes. Put on your shoes, open your book, stretch for 30 seconds. That's all.
Daniel, that sounds so easy, it almost feels silly. Why does it work?
It works because the hardest part is usually starting. Once you begin, it's easier to continue. And even if you stop there, your brain still recognizes success. You're teaching yourself that you can show up. And here's another thing. Start with what's already working. If you make tea every morning, add a short stretch while the water boils. If you already scroll your phone at night, place a book next to your pillow instead. Link new habits to old ones. We call this a habit seed.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people feel bad when they miss a day. They think, I broke the chain, so now it's over. How do we move past that?
Oh, this is a big one. And I want to say this clearly. Missing one day is not failure. Giving up because of one day is. Mistakes are part of the process. The real habit isn't perfection. It's the ability to come back. Like Viktor Frankl said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. When you miss a day, take a breath. Don't blame yourself. Ask, what made me stop? That question is more useful than guilt.
That's such a helpful mindset shift. Instead of feeling bad, we become curious.
Yes. And let me share a story of someone I coached. Her name's Emma. She was a full-time office worker and kept failing her goal to work out 3 times a week. She always felt tired after work. So instead, she started a wind-down routine right after logging off. Close the laptop, drink water, change clothes, pull open the curtain, and play soft music. That was it. No exercise goal, just that. And guess what? Within 3 weeks, she found herself going for short walks during sunset without forcing it.
That's beautiful. She created the space for a habit to grow, not the pressure to perform it.
Exactly. When we stop trying to fix ourselves and start listening instead, we find the habit that fits.
So if you're listening today and feeling frustrated about a habit you can't stick to, maybe it's not about being stronger. Maybe it's about starting smaller. Start with a seed. Just show up. Just pull the curtain. Just press play. Danielle, earlier you said something that really stayed with me. What if the habit was never right for your lifestyle? I think a lot of us carry this belief that if we're not consistent, we just don't have enough discipline.
Yes, that's one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. People think discipline means doing hard things all the time, but real discipline is actually about design. It's about creating an environment where your habit feels natural, not forced.
Wow. So instead of saying, I need more self-control, we could ask, how can I make this easier for myself?
Exactly. I once worked with a client, Jason. He wanted to stop checking his phone first thing in the morning. He tried hiding it under his bed, switching off Wi-Fi, even using lock apps, but none of it lasted. Then I asked him, where do you keep your phone? He said, on my pillow. So of course it was the first thing he touched every morning. We moved the phone to the kitchen. The next day, instead of checking messages, he stretched and drank water. That one small change made all the difference.
I love that. It reminds me of something I read. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. That's James Clear again, right?
Yes, and he's spot on. Think about this. If your goal is to eat healthy, but your kitchen is full of cookies and snacks, your environment is working against you. But if you chop fruit in advance, keep water near your desk, or set a reminder to stand up, it's not willpower, it's a system.
So let's break this down for our listeners. You said design your environment. What are some practical steps someone could take right now?
Great question. Start with these 3. Make the good habit visible. If you want to read more, put a book on your pillow. Want to drink more water? Keep a glass on your desk. Make the bad habit invisible. Move the snacks to a hard-to-reach place. Hide distracting apps from your home screen. Reduce friction. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Pre-plan meals. Charge your devices far from your bed. These are small design choices, but they build up over time.
You know what's interesting, Danielle? I used to think habits had to feel hard. Like, if it wasn't painful, it wasn't serious. But now I'm learning that the best habits feel almost invisible.
Yes, the best habits often feel light, not heavy. They slide into your day without needing a big fight. It's like adding a note to your favorite song. It just fits.
And what happens when life changes? A new job, a sick child, moving to a new city. How do habits survive then?
That's a really important question. The answer is, they usually don't. And that's okay. We need to let go of the idea that a good habit must last forever. Sometimes life changes, and our habits must change too. That's why I tell people to build flexibility, not perfection. If you usually walk for 30 minutes, but today you only have 5, that's fine. Keep the rhythm, even if the song changes.
It's almost like saying, I'm not failing, I'm adjusting.
Exactly. And when we adjust, we stay connected to the habit. It doesn't break. It bends. Let me share a quick quote I always remind my clients of. It's from Maya Angelou. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. Habits are not promises. They're experiments. You learn, tweak, and try again.
I'm curious, Daniel. What's one habit in your life that taught you this lesson?
Honestly, meditation. I tried to meditate for 20 minutes every morning, but I kept missing days, especially when traveling. I felt like a fraud. Then one day, I gave myself permission to just sit for 1 minute. No timer, no app, just silence. That changed everything. That 1 minute grew slowly, naturally. And now, even when I travel, I just pause and breathe, even if it's just for 30 seconds. That's real consistency. Not perfect, but present.
That's really inspiring. For me, it was journaling. I used to feel bad if I didn't write a full page. Now I just write one line, what I feel or one thing I'm grateful for. It still counts. It still helps me feel grounded.
And those moments add up. We often wait for the perfect time to start. But in truth, a tiny habit done today is more powerful than a big habit planned for someday.
So true. And to everyone listening, what habit are you making too hard right now? What would it look like if you made it smaller, simpler, or kinder? You might be one small change away from something really powerful.
Daniel, I want to talk about something that really hurts people when they're trying to build habits. The moment everything falls apart. You miss one day, then another, and suddenly you feel like you've failed.
Yes, and it happens to all of us. It's one of the most common moments where people give up. But here's the truth. Missing one day doesn't break a habit, but the story we tell ourselves after that often does.
That's so true. I remember when I was trying to write every morning. I missed 2 days because of a family trip, and I told myself, well, there it goes again, another habit I couldn't keep. I almost didn't start again. It felt easier to quit than to feel that disappointment.
Exactly. And the key here is self-compassion. There's a quote I often share from Kristin Neff, the researcher on self-kindness. She says, self-compassion gives us the courage to face our failures without falling apart. When a habit breaks, most people don't need more discipline. They need permission to try again, without shame.
So what should someone do right after they break a habit?
First, stop and notice what happened, but do it without judgment. Ask, what changed in my day or environment? Was this habit too big for this moment in my life? Am I trying to do it for myself or prove something to others? Then, reconnect with why you started. That purpose will always matter more than perfection.
You know what helped me once? I actually wrote a letter to myself. It was short, just a few lines, but I reminded myself that missing one day didn't erase all the progress I had already made. It helped me feel like I was still on the path.
That's such a powerful practice. It shows that you're still the person who wants to grow. One misstep doesn't change that. I also recommend something I call the restart ritual. It's a simple act that helps you come back to your habit without stress. For example, if you stopped journaling, just write one word today. If you stopped meditating, just sit in silence for one breath. If you stopped working out, stretch your arms for 10 seconds. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing something, anything.
That's so freeing. It makes the return less scary.
Exactly. Most people fear starting over because they think it has to be hard. But what if starting again could be gentle?
Let's talk about identity for a second. A lot of us build habits because we want to become a better person, but that can also create pressure. We tie our worth to whether we're consistent or not.
And that's a dangerous trap. You are not your habits. You are more than your routines. But habits can help reflect the kind of person you're growing into. For example, I'm someone who takes care of my body. I'm someone who shows up for myself. I'm someone who keeps trying. These are gentle identities, not perfect ones.
That reminds me of a listener who wrote last season. She had stopped going to therapy after 3 months and felt ashamed. But instead of quitting completely, she emailed her therapist and said, "Can I just talk for 10 minutes this week?" That one step brought her back. She said it changed everything.
What a powerful example. She made her return smaller than her fear. And we need to normalize that. Most journeys include detours. Progress is not a straight line.
So true. And it's okay to forgive yourself for stopping.
More than okay, it's necessary. Forgiveness gives us the freedom to grow again. There's a saying I love from Japanese culture: fall 7 times, stand up 8. It's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you choose to get back up.
So, to everyone listening today, if you've stopped a habit, if you feel like you've lost your rhythm, you haven't failed. You're still in the story. The page just turned.
Yes, you can always begin again.
Take a moment right now. Think of one habit you once started but didn't keep. Can you return to it in a softer way? Can you forgive yourself and try again, just for today? Daniel, let's talk about the final piece. How to keep a habit going after you've started again.
Many people restart, but then get stuck in the same cycle. Big excitement, big goals, and then, once again, feeling overwhelmed.
Yes, this is where many habits break down. It's because we often forget that consistency isn't about motivation. It's about making the action so small, it feels almost too easy.
That reminds me of James Clear's idea of the 2-minute rule. He says, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do.
Exactly. And I've seen this work in so many lives. For example, I had a client who wanted to start running every morning. But getting dressed and going outside felt too big. So the only goal for the first week was to put on running shoes and stand by the door. That's all.
That sounds almost silly, but it worked, didn't it?
Yes, because the action was too small to fail, and it built trust. After a week, she naturally wanted to step outside. Then she walked around the block. Over time, those tiny wins grew into a habit of running 3 times a week. Remember, confidence grows from doing, not from planning.
I love that. And for anyone listening, maybe you can think of a habit you've been postponing. Ask yourself, what's the smallest version of this that I can do today?
Exactly. And don't forget to make it visible. Use a habit tracker, a sticky note on your mirror, or even an app that gives you a little celebration when you complete the action. There's a quote from BJ Fogg that says, "Emotions create habits. When you feel successful, your brain wants to do it again."
That's so true. I once used a simple checklist on my fridge. Every time I drank a glass of water in the morning, I put a tiny sticker on the day. It felt a bit childish, but seeing all those stickers made me proud.
Exactly. Success needs proof you can see.
Another thing that helps is having a why that's personal, not just because it's popular. Like, maybe everyone around you is doing yoga or cold showers, but if you don't really care, it won't last.
Yes, and that's why the best habits fit your life, not someone else's. Think about your energy, your schedule, your personality. For example, if you're not a morning person, why force yourself to work out at 6 a.m.? Maybe your best time is during lunch or after work.
So it's not just about discipline, it's about design.
Absolutely. Design your environment to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Like if you want to read more, put a book on your pillow. If you want to watch less TV, unplug it or put the remote far away. Those little tweaks make a big difference.
One last question, Daniel. What would you say to someone who still feels afraid to try again because they've failed so many times?
I'd say your past failures don't define you. They were experiments, not evidence you're broken. There's a beautiful quote by Maya Angelou. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. You know more now. You understand yourself better.
That means you can do better, one small step at a time.
That's so encouraging. For everyone listening, maybe today is the day you start again. Maybe today is the day you shrink your habit into something you can't help but do. And maybe this time you'll feel proud, not because you were perfect, but because you showed up.
Yes. You showed up. That's always enough.
Before we close, here's something you can do right now. Take 10 minutes to write down one tiny habit you want to build and why it matters to you. And if you want, share it with someone you trust. Sometimes just saying it out loud makes it feel real.
And remember, progress is not about speed. It's about showing up again and again.
Thank you so much for being here, Daniel. Thank you, Sophia. This was such a warm conversation.
Thank you, Sophia. This was such a warm conversation.
And thank you to everyone listening to English Eve podcast, where English meets real life. We can't wait to hear what habits you choose to build next. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to review some useful vocabulary and idioms from today's episode, so you can use them in real life, just like we did. Vocabulary number 1, habit trigger. A small event that reminds you to start your habit. Example 1. Putting on my shoes was my habit trigger to go for a walk. Example 2. Pouring coffee became my habit trigger to start journaling. 2. Fall apart. To become emotionally or mentally overwhelmed and unable to continue. Example 1. When I missed 3 days of journaling, I felt like I was falling apart. Example 2. Self-compassion helps us not fall apart when life gets messy. 3. Accountability. Being responsible to someone else for your actions or progress. Example 1. I shared my habit plan with a friend for accountability. Example 2. Joining a walking group gave me a sense of accountability. 4. Friction. Small things that make a task harder to start or complete. Example 1. Keeping my workout clothes in a drawer added friction to my habit. Example 2. To reduce friction, I put my journal on my bed. 5. Reset. To start again from the beginning in a simple way. Example 1. After skipping 3 days, I gave myself permission to reset. Example 2. Drinking water was my reset habit after a stressful week. 6. Self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially when you make a mistake. Example 1. Instead of blaming myself, I practiced self-compassion. Example 2. Self-compassion helps us restart without shame. 7. Lasting change. A change that stays in your life for a long time. Example 1. Tiny habits can lead to lasting change. Example 2. I didn't need a huge goal, just one small step toward lasting change. Idioms. 1. Fall off the wagon. To stop doing a habit after doing it well for a time. Example 1. I fell off the wagon after 2 weeks of eating healthy. Example 2. It's okay to fall off the wagon. Just get back on. 2. One step at a time. To do things slowly and carefully without rushing. Example 1. Building a habit is about taking it one step at a time. Example 2. Don't worry about the big goal. Just go one step at a time. 3. Get back on track. To return to your habit or plan after stopping. Example 1. After missing a week, I found a way to get back on track. Example 2. A restart ritual helps you get back on track. 4. In the long run. Over a long period of time. Example 1. Tiny habits feel small, but they matter in the long run. Example 2.
Building slowly works better in the long run. 5. A vote for the person you want to become. From James Clear. A small action that supports your future identity. Example 1. Drinking water in the morning is a vote for my healthy self. Example 2. Each walk is a vote for the kind of life I want. Once again, thank you, Daniel. Your message will stay with us. And to everyone listening, thank you for spending time with us on English Eve, where English meets real life. Let's close with this reminder. Mistakes are not the end of your story. They're the beginning of your strength. If this episode inspired you, please subscribe, share, or leave a comment below. We'd love to hear, what habit are you building today?